Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about maintenance and keeping your Serger a well operated, happy machine on today's edition of Make It Monday. Hi, I'm Jim. I'm here with Amy Soes, also with the Original Sewing Quote Expo. And since this is April still, when this is being filmed, and April is National Serger Month, I thought I'd finish out the month with going over a little bit of maintenance on your serger, because after all, if you keep your serger in top running form, it'll last you for years. So I'm going to take you over to the serger, and you can see here how I have my serger in front of me. This is actually Bernina L860. And one of the things I always want to do is when I'm cleaning my serger, I'll also make sure the presser foot is cleaned top and bottom. Underneath the throw plate is very important. If you can remove yours, you may want to go and open it up just to make sure there's no lint or debris building up underneath the presser foot and the throat plate. If you can't remove yours, either you physically can't or you don't have the ability to, strength-wise, to remove the screws, what I would do is lower the blade like I've just done now, and I have the feed teeth lowered, and I can take the little brush that came with my serger, and I can easily get it underneath, and I can kind of whisk out a lot of the different areas. One of the things I would never want to do is use canned air. Canned air is notorious for having water inside it. And basically what you'll be doing is you'll be blowing water actually into your serger, which is not a good thing. And as you can see here, what I'm doing with my little brush that came with my serger, it was treated, so it's going to attract that lint that's down in here. So if I can't, like I'm picking out my little bits right now, if I can't grab it with my brush, I happen to have my tweezers built right in the door. I can go in here and I can pick up little clumps of lint if I have it there. One of the best things to get is a small handheld type of vacuum cleaner. If you're a member of our Serger box, you probably got one last year that you can just go set it up to with a little long nozzle and go in here and vacuum out all the lint and debris that may be building up, which is a really good thing. One of the things I often do on my serger at home, and a lot of us probably haven't heard about before, is I floss my serger. And by that, I mean, and I know this is going to be difficult for some people, but what I'll quite often do is come in and cut my threads, and I'm unthreading my serger, as you can see here. Now, if I have, like this one is a jet air, it's very easy just to put the threads on top, put my foot on the foot pedal, and it's threaded. A lot of ones will just have a lever, some have a button, whatever yours takes. It's really easy to do that. Okay, granted, if you have an older one or a simpler one that's more mechanical, where you have to manually thread it, it's good practice. So do that. The reason I take the threads out is quite often you could have debris that could be inhibiting the tension discs that are up here within the case. So what I like to do is I like to floss my serger. And by doing it, what I'll do is I'll make sure my presser foot lifter, mine's here on the left, I'll make sure it's up. When the presser foot lifter is up, there's no tension on the tension discs. So I can take this thicker thread, this is, I believe, a spaghetti thread, and I'll go take it and I'll click it in the back. Did you hear all that made that little noise? I know that it's fully seated back there in that first entry click. And now when I run it down, I can see here easily my tension discs are open, and I just go and pull it right through. And I may do that several times. And that's going to help any loose lint or debris that could be built up in there to be captured and pulled out. I have in the past used a little thicker thread or cord, not too heavy. The reason for that is I had a lady in class once who, when she was storing her serger thread, she made a complaint that the threads always get tangled. So what she would do is she would actually secure each comb with a healthy, hefty, whatever you call it, strip of transparent tape. So she was taping the thread tails to the spool itself. In theory, that may sound okay, but in likelihood, it's not a good idea because that tape has adhesive that's on it that could remain on the thread, which means it'll get transferred to the tension discs, which means it's going to build up inside there and it's going to cause you problems later on. So tape and thread do not mix. So that's why I was using a heavier thread just to see if I can get some of the adhesive off of the discs and onto that to save her a trip to the technician, which is always a good thing. You should bring your machine in for a yearly checkup at the dealer where you purchased your Serger, or if you didn't purchase it there, make friends, introduce yourself, and because they're going to be your livelihood to keep your machine running in top form. The other thing too is lubrication. And one of the things that I always do is I read my owner's manual and I talk to the Serger techs that are at the store to find out where is the best places to oil. And usually if you can't understand your owner's manual, what you could do is just turn your hand wheel very slowly and you could see where items are moving. And generally that's a good rule of thumb, that if you see metal pieces sliding against each other, like that shaft is going up and down in here, in here when I go, and also little pivot points down in here, that's where I'm going to put a drop of lubricant. And notice I said lubricant and not oil. A lot of times we're familiar with seeing those metal cans in grandma's sewing room or shelf that grandpa would use to oil up the machine. And as that kind of implies, it's building up. Oil doesn't go away. Usually it'll build up, and that's whenever you would hear grandma say a few choice words when that glob would just fall out from right above the needle. Because I remember hearing my mom do that a couple times as a kid. But the nice thing is when you're getting a lubricant for the machine, they're usually silicone based and they don't build up. They actually dissipate with time, which means you're not going to have a huge residue building up inside your machine, because over oiling could be, or over lubricating can be as bad as under lubricating. And again, follow the directions that came with your owner's manual. If you lost it, see if you can go online and look up another one, or ask your dealer. They'll be happy to help you. And again, learn all the ins and outs about your Serger. And not everyone's the same. Like this one, when you open it up, I'm open so far and that's it. But then again, it's a safety issue in a way, because I don't have access to things that could harm me if I don't know how to use them properly. And also it helps clean up the machine, because there's less things that actually will build up lint and debris. Now over here to the left, I have a baby lock plod. And one of the reasons I thought I'd bring that out is because this should show you, if you haven't seen one of these, just one of the differences, especially when you open it. Now this is a cover stitch machine that has a really unique wiper system in it that does decorative braids, etc. like that. And you can see here it has more of a throat plate like on my sewing machine. And when I open it up, I have full access to the side, which is going to aid me in not only threading the serger, but also in cleaning it and debrising it, meaning any little bits or parts, whatever that may get built up in here. So what's really nice is the fact that I can really open this up and I can actually vacuum out easily all the debris in here. So that's one of the things you may want to consider when you're shopping for a specialty type of serger overlock like this, is how easy is it to maintain and keep it clean. And back to this one too, just a reminder to make sure you clean underneath your feed teeth, actually the throat plate of your feed teeth, because if you get an excessive amount of debris building up underneath that, put my foot out of the way, that it'll keep the feed teeth from coming up fully through the throat plate. So make sure that's always addressed and keep it nice and clean. And while you're at it, even keep your feet clean. Check the bottom, because if you've been using like a glue stick or any other type of adhesive to keep zippers tapes, etc., pieces in place, that could build up underneath the through plate of your machine, sorry, over the foot, that and actually kind of build up. So just kind of as a general, just keep it all nice and clean and neat. Okay, when you're working with it. And whenever I would periodically swing my foot to the side just to make sure everything is neat and clean and coming up, and I'm not getting any kind of debris getting stuck to my feet, because that could also happen too. Okay. So again, just give it a good clean up, maybe even check on how well your needles are, keeping everything in nice, perfect shape so that you could have your machine ready to sew any application you need to. And that being said, let us do a closing to happy Serger month for the month of April. And hopefully everybody's getting their Serger out and working on great projects. And we'd love to see them too. So if you get a chance, be sure to go and send a photograph to us. So we'd love to share them with everybody here and at the Gilded Amy Sews too. So that being said, thanks for watching. And you can always follow us, Amy Buckman Sew and Quilt website, and see whenever listings are coming up for more shows. Also, what's going on in the shop. And you can check me out on the Original Sew and Quilt Expo page to find out where I'm currently traveling and teaching at. So that being said, thanks again for watching. Really appreciate you. And remember, as Amy would say, the more you know, the more you sew. Take care.